All righty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. Let me go ahead and just make sure that everybody knows that we're getting started here. Are you guys watching these cryptocurrencies? They are moving. They are on the move. Can't short them though. I don't want to short them, but I definitely don't want to be long. I want to be long on a bigger dip, but damn things. I'm so sorry. So sorry about that. The damn things are not dipping. That's the problem, right? So, it's like, I don't know what to do with them. Well, I know what to do with them, not do anything with them. That's what I'm going to be doing with them, is not anything. So let's take a real quick look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, while we're at it. So Ethereum is making its way up to 3750. This is some big resistance. And this is what I figure resistance is going to be for Ethereum. Bitcoin should be reaching for this 56,500 level. So yesterday, if just so you guys know, I mean, most of you guys know this, but I'm not sure if everybody knows this. If you read the basic technical analysis of all of the instruments every evening, well, I say evening, it's evening for me. So if you're in North America, it's evening, it's late at night if you're in Europe or whatever. But the end of day analysis is written by me on the basic technical analysis. So if you guys kind of want to, you're like, man, I wonder what Blake is thinking about, whatever, like Bitcoin, for example, because this is what I was going to reference. If you want to know how I'm feeling about Bitcoin, you can just go to basic technical analysis. This is last night, so 17 hours ago. The Bitcoin market completed a triangle at the 88% retracement, but a break of 53,000 would put the 56,500, 127% extension in play. That's right here. And it's also a 78% retracement as well. So you can see this is the target now, right? It's a confluence too. And by the way, I'm looking at that. If I was a Bitcoin trader or a crypto trader, I'd probably be selling up there. I don't know if I really want to do that, like me personally, but that's what I would be thinking, right? So I'm going to write down 56,500 is being key. Whoops, forgot the bias chart here. And if you guys think I'm bullish right now, I'm not. Like if you think I got to write, bullish for crypto right now, I'm not. I'm going to keep it neutral. Okay, so 56,500. Now, are we challenging resistance? Sure. And do I think it's probably bullish intraday? Sure. I just don't think that the last several months of price action constitute being bullish right now. Actually, what I think is probably more like it is going to be something like this. If I had to guess. Yeah, I think we'll probably be seeing 56,500, 57,000, and then, slump again. And so for right now, you may think the breakout point is support right here. It's not. Actually, I think support's going to be right around here. So that triangle completion, you guys remember this, the triangle completion, right? That should offer support on the way back down because of this previous high over here. So this is where Bitcoin might get bearish. If we get back below, let's just call it 51,000, that should be pretty good support. Like I said, I'm going to keep it range bound, people. Keeping it range bound. That's right. That's right. All right. Let's I want to cover one other thing. So we talked about, just really quick, we talked about on the F.A.C.E webinar. Brand said, yes, if you're clueless, stay out as far as cryptos go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. If I can't, I'm a big believer in, and you guys know I told you this about the dollar yen for the longest time. Like I just do not have a good read on the dollar yen. I don't. And why is my dollar yen not? Oh, that's why. I don't have a good read on the dollar yen. So I'm not trading it. I think I've got a decent read on the Nikkei, and I think I got a decent read on some of these other yen pairs. So I'm trading those. Like, as I mentioned on the FA.C.E webinar, I think the Nikkei is at risk of actually a pretty big move lower. Obviously we're at support here, but we start breaking through this, let's just call it 27,000. That should allow for a much bigger correction. That should allow for a much bigger correction in the Nikkei, which would also translate to a bigger correction in the yen pairs. So just so you guys know, I closed my Canadian yen short this morning. If you guys are, following the pattern in play, right? And by the way, let me just stop for a second and talk a little bit about this. So my pattern in play, what patterns in play should really do for you guys and gals is help you understand where a bias is, where my bias is at, or any one of us that are posting these patterns in play. A lot of people say, oh, well, if I see a pattern in play, go in and, I might take that trade. That's fine if you do that. But the reason why I want to point that out is because I actually covered my Canadian yen short this morning, and then I reestablished that short. My average right now on the Canadian yen is 88.18 on my short. I'm out of the money, like 12 pips or whatever. But I had a 50 some odd pip gain from yesterday. So basically, I am now selling rallies in this thing. Does that mean I want to close out my pattern in play? No, because I'm actually biased bearish, for a while. Like, if I see the Canadian yen moving, back down to 87 yen over time, it doesn't mean I'm just going to get short and stay short, right? Do you guys understand that? Does everybody understand that concept? So the patterns in play should really just kind of give you what my bias is. I think I've had this US dollar Norwegian krona long in, or is this my second one? That's the fifth. That was yesterday. I had one in the US dollar Norwegian krona long. I had that one in for like, I don't know, 2 weeks or whatever. Whatever that was, or a week or whatever it was. And I played it on the long side like 3 or 4 different times. I bought it, sold it, bought it, sold it. Now I happen to be long the US dollar Norwegian krona right now. But you guys, I just want you to understand that I don't necessarily, because I got this question a while back, do I play all my patterns in play? The answer to that question is no. If I see a pattern, I'm going to put it out there, but I might have a lot of exposure. Like, for example, if I see a pattern set up in, let's just call it today, like the Aussie dollar, and it looks like a great short right now, and I see it, I might put a pattern in play in, and then I might jump in the chat room and say, look, there's a new pattern in play for short Aussie dollars. But considering the fact that I'm long dollar Mexican peso right now, US dollar Norwegian krona, dollar Canadian, I don't need to be more exposed short Aussies too. You know what I mean? So I might not necessarily take that trade. So just realize that I put in, multiple patterns in play, but I'm not trading all of them. I try to trade them all, and most of the time I do, but they're really just there to provide you some bias, like, some direction. Okay. All right, let's get to the analysis. Let's get this done. By the way, Steve isn't going to be jumping in today. I know for those of you that are Steve fans, you're probably like, Ah, no Scuba Steve. So no Scuba Steve today. He had to run a personal errand for his son. So because his wife couldn't handle it. So the situation. All right, let's talk about the euro dollar. So here's the euro. Obviously, I'm bearish. You saw the bias chart, the chart of the day, now the flag pattern. Period. While we're below 16.1, well, while we're below 116.40, there's no reason to be bullish. That's key. And by the way, I think if you can get a rally to 115.60, you want to be a seller. I'm going to try to sell some up here. Like if I can get a short, fresh euro short, I'm going to do it. Problem that we have with this is that the euro is just bear flagging after bear flagging after bear flagging, right? So here's an intraday chart. This is a 15-minute chart of the euro. I'm going to delete these because I don't want them to muck up my chart. But look, this is just these are bear flags that are just setting up. Raj says the only fan Steve has is Steve. That's hardcore. And that's not true. Everybody loves Steve. I love Steve, but not in that kind of way. I love him as a dude. He's a great dude. Steve is all heart. Okay, so anyway, let's figure out where the next level support is here. High, low, 161% extension comes in at 115.05. The longer term 50% retracement comes in at 114.88. So we're talking, 115. I'm just going to write down 115. And this is going to be key on the way down. The euro is not going to be one of those pairs that break easy. It's not. There are better risk off trades out there. Short sterling. If you guys want to, be a dollar bull, short the sterling. That's probably a good trade. Like look, yesterday we were looking for 136.63 to offer resistance. We got as high as 136.50. That's it, man. That's it. It has to stay below that. That's key. And we should probably be targeting lower prices. We wrote down support yesterday as being 130. I don't know if we did. Let me double check that. 135.20. Yes. So 135.20 and below that, let's just say the dollar gets a little bit of upside, see some upside pressure. We got to anticipate we can move lower than 135.20. So 135.20 and 134.10. Okay. By the way, if you are not in the chat room, I'll just explain this to you. I sold euro sterling up here. Some of it, I have a core long. I know. Ryan's on the short side. I'm on the long side. You guys know why I'm on the long side. You should know. At least I've explained it to you. False breakdown over here meant that we're going to rally. So I have a core long, and my core long in the euro sterling right now is at 85.37 now. Okay. So my core long is like right around here, but I exited some above 86 pence previously. So I'm just adding back to what I sold. So I'm just trying to be long down here and sell some up here for an eventual move higher. I know Stelios is expecting 83. I'm sure Ryan's expecting 83. I'm not. I think in a risk off world, the sterling is going to underperform. So I think there's still Brexit issues that are looming. So I'm just, you guys know, I'm going to play it on the long side down here. I'm going to be selling some up here with a core position on, for a move higher eventually. That doesn't mean it's going to work out. I'm just telling you how I'm trading it. And the reason why I'm explaining that to you is because I bought some this morning below 85 pence. So for those of you that are following along this, if you're in I'm not saying you should be in one camp or the other. Well, I'm not saying that, I'm going to be right and, Ryan's going to be wrong or anything like that. I'm just saying, there's two ways to trade. You can trade either side of this market, in my opinion. Obviously anybody who was short, at the 200-day moving average killed it, and I just gave back some profits. So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to be trading the long side, where some of you will be trading the short side, which is fine. It's totally fine. But if you're in my camp, then you probably want to be a buyer down here, sub 85. And then, try to sell it, get back above 86 and sell some, Okay. Anyway, back to life, back to reality. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Here's the Aussie, the worst voice in the world. I know that. Support being at 72 20, I think is what we wrote yesterday, right? There. 72.20. That's still support today. And matter of fact, let's do this. 618 comes in at 72.20. That is key. So I'll write that down, but I will also write 71.70 after that, because I do think now if we break this, we should challenge that low. I do believe that. Resistance, 73 cents, and then 73.25. I think we wrote that down yesterday, just making sure. Oh, no, we didn't write down 73 cents, but that is that trend line. I think we talked about this trend line at the daily roundup yesterday. That was it. So keeping it in range for now. Kiwi, that was a hell of a reversal yesterday. I should have just stayed with my short. I just, one of those things is I can't tell you how many times I've taken trades in Asia, and then like, for example, shorting the Kiwi last night. I shorted it. I'm up like 10, 12 pips, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to close it. I can't tell you how many times I've shorted or taken a trade in Asia. I go finish cooking dinner. I was making barbecue chicken last night and mashed potatoes, by the way. It was really good. And I can't tell you how many times I finished cooking, and then I sit back down, and then I've, whatever gains I had, it just melted away. I'm like, so for me yesterday, I'm like, well, let's post RBNZ. I might as well just take it off, which obviously wasn't smart. Okay. So I do think that today, see this red line here? This should offer, and I'm going to put it right here. That should offer intraday resistance. So that is, let's just call it 69.30. So I'm going to do this 69.30. That'll be 69.85. Big resistance. Support. I'm just going to write down support as being 68.60. And I am keeping the range designation there. So yesterday in the chat room or in the analysis, I can't remember the. Oh yeah, there's that. The 50 DMA capped. We have to get above 126.50 is needed for a possible move higher. That was last night. before we got up here. So if you were in European trade and you're like, oh, look, we're at 126.48. Blake said that was resistance. That is resistance. And that held us. And we've dropped about 40, 50 pips since then. So just realize that if we get above 126.50, that's probably going to be bullish intraday. Okay. This is why if you ever want to feel how I'm feeling about, pairs, just go back and, especially if you're up in European trade and I'm not, I'm asleep, obviously. Just read the night before's analysis. If I see something important for that currency or whatever instrument it is, I'm going to put it up there on the end of day analysis, So anyway, I do think that this trend line is also going to be important too. So that's 126.85. That'll be the next level of resistance. Should we break that 126.50? Support will be, well, I think, dips down to 125.50 are going to be bought. I don't know if we're going to make it all the way down there, but I think that if we get down there, it's going to be bought. Okay. Okay. Swissy, same levels. 92.25, 93.50. Dollar yen. Oh, okay. Look at this. Yesterday, we wrote down 111.70. Did you see what the overnight high was? $78. Wow. Wow. So that means that is going to be pretty key then. So I was looking at this as a flag, but I guess that's not correct. What's going to be really important is that resistance and that support. So 110.80, 111.80. You guys could have fun with that. I'll go trade the Canadian yen. You guys can have fun with this one. Crude oil is breaking lower, by the way, if you guys aren't watching it. Brand said, come on, Blake, we know you are the dollar yen expert. I have very little feel about the dollar yen. I really, really don't. So when I get something like that right, when I go, oh yeah, resistance is at 111.70 and we hit 111.78, that to me is I actually impress myself, which that's very hard for me to do. But I was like, wow, look at that. I actually did it right with the dollar yen. Okay. So this is support right here, obviously. That comes in at 93.72, resistance 94.50. And that's key. Remember, and why is that key? Do you guys remember from yesterday? Do you remember why the dollar yen at 94.50 is key? Before we look at the chart, do you remember? Is a big, big ass. Gavin said huge resistance. Yeah, you know why it's huge? Because it's the big 38% retracement. If you don't remember here, I got a monthly chart, but you can go to a weekly chart and see it. It's from the post COVID COVID lockdown lows or highs to the lows, it's a 38% retracement. That's why if we break 94.50, as I made a big stink about it yesterday, and I'll say it again, we break 94.50, the last place you're going to want to be is short the dollar. Okay. That's just the last place you're going to want to be if we break that. I'm not saying that we're going to. I'm just saying that if that breaks, you just do not want to be short dollars in any way, shape, or form. Maybe the dollar yen might do its own thing. Maybe it's a risk aversion thing, and people start buying yen and buying Swiss francs over dollars. But typically speaking, if that dollar index breaks out, you do not want to be short the dollar. You just don't want to be. All right, support is what I write down, 93.75. Whatever this low was, whatever that is, 93.70. Okay. Dollar mex. What a big move, huh? I just started buying some dollar mex again this morning. If you're in the chat rooms, you know, I started picking it up at 20.72. I am going to be probably buying it all the way down towards the 60s, like down here. I deleted this last night because I didn't want it to influence my daily analysis, but that was a triangle trying to break out, finally did, right? So you guys probably recall that from yesterday's daily roundup webinar. Anyway, support should be any move back down to 2061. Resistance is 2088. And remember, we're at the big 618. So just keep that in mind if you're playing the dollar max on the long side. Like I bought some today. I only bought a third size thus far. Denise says, I don't like trading same risk profile pairs, both dollar and yen. Risk off, very difficult to pick direction unless the pair is an extreme. Yeah, and typically if we do get risk aversion, at least as of right now, I feel that the yen will outperform the dollar. So you short dollar yen. That's how I feel at this moment. Doesn't mean I'm going to continue to feel like that, but that's how I feel right now. But I'm not. Denise said that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. I guess we'll see. If the S&Ps break through these lows here, then we'll see who's outperforming. But I bet you it's going to be the yen. If I had to put my money on it, well, I will put money on it, but I would think it's the yen. All right, sorry. Going to continue on. U.S. dollar, Norwegian krona. Megaphone still holding. I picked this up yesterday at the 200-day moving average. K-Man's been buying some dollar Norway, which he's been playing the Euro Norway on the short side, and rightfully so. He was playing it not here, but he was short like 2 weeks ago. I think he was short up here. But now he's playing long on the, dollar NOK, which I found I'm like happy about, right? 618 retracement. See that? So that 851 is really key. You guys know I'm just playing inside of this megaphone. So, I sold it, was it a week and a half ago when we were up here at 74, 72? I can't remember where I sold it. I was actually I was in California. So wherever I sold it, I dished it out there. But I'll be a seller up here again, or at least let go of what I have. I guess it depends what happens. But I mean, if crude oil is dumping, then which by the way, it's trading at its lows right now. If crude just continues to like pull back, maybe I'll stay long the US dollar Norwegian krone. It's not going down with crude at all-time high or at multi-year highs, but 865 is resistance intraday. Did we write that yesterday? What do we write down as resistance? 865, then 883. The high, today's high, was 864 and change. Dang. It's pretty good. Boom, boom. So we know that's big. And if we get above that 880 again, right? So everybody wants to be long gold and silver. I don't like how they're acting. They continue to trade heavy. Dale said they're holding up pretty well based on the dollar move, and I guess I can't argue with that. But I still think they're slanted bearish. So silver, as long as 23 holds, we should see 22 and then 21.30. So it's bearish. And the S&P continues to be bearish. And as I mentioned today in the webinar, if you can get a short somewhere up here. So I'm going to write down 4370, but 4350, both 4350, 4370, because I don't know if we're developing a wedge or a triangle, because this I think it's a triangle right now. It's what I thought yesterday, but this could be more of a symmetrical, which if it's symmetrical, it could be, we could get all the way back up here. So I'm thinking that this area is going to offer fresh areas for fresh shorts. Okay, support right now is 42.90 and 42.70. So 42.70, 42.90. All right, guys. Steve and Stelios are not here today, so just making sure you guys all know that. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you go. Brand says K-Man, Ryan, and Nurse Magics are the dynamic three. Yeah, those guys are good, and I'm glad they're part of our community for sure. It's nice to be trading with those guys. Oh, I'm gonna go because I got to get my kids ready for school. But I'll be in the chat room in about 10 or 15 minutes. So I'll see you guys there. Good luck today, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for your continued support. And I will see you on the daily roundup in just a couple hours. All right. See you guys and gals. Bye-bye.